This is ABC 15 News Taking Action.
Ripped apart, mangled on the side of the freeway. What investigators say happened moments before this deadly Greyhound crash. It was headed to Arizona, crashed in New Mexico. We have the very latest.
Crisis averted. Pipe bombs found in Mesa with enough materials to make more. And investigators say they are tied to a Marine.
From the Valley of the Sun to the nation's capital, what else is in store as we continue to follow the funeral services for the late Senator John McCain. Good morning, everybody. Of course, an emotional day yesterday as everybody said their final goodbyes here in Arizona. A national ceremony scheduled for the next couple of days, actually.
And a time, I think, for this country to feel very patriotic.
Right.
Tied to an American hero right here in Arizona. We are so proud to have been able to call John McCain our own. We're going to be talking about that throughout the morning. College football, we've got that on the minds. High school football.
It's a big Friday.
Yes, it is. We want to check in with Iris Hermosillo for our forecast.
Hey, good morning, guys. 4:31 here at this hour. We are waking up to clear skies across the valley. A change from yesterday. We're not seeing that cloud cover that we started out with yesterday. 89 our current temperature. Still a little bit warm to start the day, and eventually it will be hot with a high of 105 under mostly clear skies. Looks like we'll see rain-free today, but I'll show you when those storm chances return and how they could impact your weekend in just a bit.
Well, final goodbye to the late Senator John McCain, the Maverick, now in the nation's capital after leaving Arizona and arriving at Joint Base Andrews before he's set to lie in state at the Capitol Rotunda today. Today's formal ceremony starts at 8 o'clock our time. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, Vice President Mike Pence, all scheduled to speak there. And then tomorrow, a national memorial service celebrating the life of the senator will take place at the Washington National Cathedral. That begins at 7 a.m. our time. We'll be here on the air. Former Presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush are just a couple of the dignitaries set to speak there.
The late senator impacted so many people in his lifetime, and we did catch up with a Navy officer right here in the Valley, a recipient of one of McCain's final acts as senator.
Dear Samuel, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate you on your graduation from the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy.
That's Samuel Bongiorno, and he received a letter in the mail from McCain's office on the same day the senator passed away. Congratulations on his service as he looks ahead now to flight school at Luke Air Force Base.
I think that it's a real source of motivation to me and my peers, just because when we're starting out like this in flight school, it's very difficult. And so it's easy to kind of lose sight of why we're doing this. And so I think having a letter like that, a keepsake like that, really helps to remind me what the end goal is.
I have a feeling it's going to be pretty motivating too. He's from Chandler. He says he plans to frame that letter and hang it in his parents' home. And by the way, it's not the first interaction with McCain for him. The senator nominated Bongiorno back in 2013 for the Merchant Marine Academy.
One man also spotted the motorcade that took the senator's body to Sky Harbor before the flight with the senator's family to Joint Base Andrews. Roberto Ongaro with an American flag saying he took off work just to spend those few seconds right there as the hearse passed by to pay the respects to the man who he says taught him so much.
Any attribute that he brought, any values that he shared and lived by, I think it's going to be up to us as American people, especially in Arizona here, to make sure that's not forgotten.
Most people stayed until the traditional blue and white United States of America jet took off, watching until it faded off there into the western sky. Since so many of you were touched by the life of John McCain, we have an entire section on abc15.com. Check out this digital resource. It's pretty cool. It's dedicated to the senator's life as a timeline. Our special coverage continues later on this morning with ABC News, live from the Capitol Rotunda, where Senator McCain will lie in state. And tomorrow morning, wake up. Kaylee and I will be here at ABC 15 on a special Saturday ahead of the live coverage for that memorial service at the National Cathedral in Washington.
Well, federal employees won't be getting a pay raise next year, at least not if President Trump has anything to say about this. The president canceling an across-the-board pay increase of 2.1% for federal workers. Now, here in Arizona, what does that mean? Well, it would affect more than 38,000 government employees, including Border Patrol and ICE agents.
Meantime, a stunning new poll out this morning reveals half of all Americans would now support impeachment proceedings against the president. According to an exclusive poll from ABC News and the Washington Post, disapproval of President Trump's performance is at an all-time high of 60%. Meantime, 63% of Americans support the investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller, and more than half of all Americans believe that the president has obstructed Mueller's probe and also support Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Much more on what all of that means. A lot of numbers to break down. That's coming up later on this morning on Good Morning America.
Here's something else you'll hear a lot about this morning. A Greyhound bus on its way to Phoenix split into pieces. This is on I-40. The video showing us that devastation, and it's near the Arizona-New Mexico state line. Several people killed in this, many more hurt. The surviving victims now recovering in a hospital both in Gallup and Albuquerque. Our Zach Crenshaw shows us what investigators know so far about this tragedy.
At least 7 of the victims are dead after a deadly Greyhound bus crash involving a semi here on I-40 in Gonzales, New Mexico. What we know right now is the bus was heading from St. Louis, Missouri to Los Angeles, but planning to stop in the valley. Obviously, it never made it there, and this is the crash scene behind me. The National Transportation Safety Board is going to be here in a matter of hours. They're going to arrive Friday mid-morning, according to a tweet from the organization, with 10 experts to continue their investigation. Right now, though, it appears the fault lies with the semi that crossed the median after a tire blew out and it hit that Greyhound bus. 49 passengers on board, at least 7 dead right now, 20 more at a nearby hospital, others spread out across New Mexico. We know at least 4 children are hospitalized, and we're hearing that some of the victims are from Phoenix and the surrounding area. We'll stay on top of this story, continue to learn new information, and bring it to you throughout the day. In New Mexico, Zach Crenshaw, ABC 15, Arizona.
Zach, thanks. Closer to home, a lethal secret hiding inside of a Mesa home as federal investigators say a former Marine had 42 pipe bombs in his garage and tools to build a lot more. Jeffrey Metcalf putting the lives of families around that neighborhood kind of in danger there just off Higley and McKellips. A pretty serious situation. A guy living right next door says the 51-year-old was living with PTSD. He also says Metcalf was seeking treatment. Still, he had no clue what his neighbor was up to.
I'm shocked and I'm sad for him in one respect because he obviously is not getting the treatment that he needs and needs more, but he's not going to get it where he's going now.
According to DPS, Metcalf claims he made the bombs at his wife's request, calling her an ultra prepper. Metcalf also part of a local Marine Corps league in the valley. Well, a major blow to the Invest in Ed movement. Prop 207 knocked off the November ballot by the state Supreme Court. The official ruling is that it wasn't clear enough. The description on who would pay and who would have to pay more in taxes in order to bring in those extra education dollars. Teachers we spoke with say it's still all about the November election.
We're not telling people how to vote. We're telling people to vote for their interest and to vote for pro-education candidates. So who's on your ballot? Who will you see? In 6 weeks, the early voter ballots are going to be dropped. So we have 6 weeks.
Well, you know, we saw the massive Red for Ed walkouts. Could we see that again? Some teachers telling ABC 15 that nothing is off the table right now.
What's the weather going to be like tonight, Iris? War Eagle! Tampa Westwood! War Eagle! Tampa Westwood! War Eagle! Tampa Westwood! Ah! Why you look?
Oh yeah, let's go Westwood, right? They are pumped up. The Westwood Warriors from Mesa will be taking on the Copper Canyon Aztecs in Glendale tonight, and it is going to be a great football Friday. A little hot to start the game though, so as you're heading out to cheer on your favorite team, make sure that maybe you've got some water with you so you're hydrating as you get out there. Now, as you're getting to the school, to the field, temperatures in the low hundreds through 6 o'clock. Our sun sets just before 7 p.m. though, and that's when kickoff happens. Temperature right around 100 degrees under most mostly clear skies, then dropping into the 90s through the night. So again, perfect football weather, at least for our standards, right? It could be a little cooler, but certainly make sure that you're hydrating out there. And we'll be talking all about that football forecast through the day today, and of course that weekend forecast too, because I know that's what you're all thinking about for sure. Now remember, if you want to see your high school football Friday forecast, then send us a video that is just like that one to share at abc15.com. Just email me asking, what's the weather going to be? Make sure you include the school's name along with the opposing school in the video. You got to mention them too. And email all of that to share at abc15.com. So we want to see who you're playing Friday night for sure. Let's talk about that most accurate forecast. Moisture sticking around over the weekend too. So we're going to be hot today, but as I mentioned, our temperature in the hundreds through the afternoon. Then through the weekend, you can expect near average high temperatures, but we've got weekend storm chances developing as well. Now they're not very high, but the potential is there for rainfall, and it's possible we see a few showers by early Saturday morning, possibly a few thunderstorms, I should say. Our storm chances up to 10% after midnight. We'll talk about the rest of the weekend as you're planning your Labor Day celebrations in just a bit.
Iris, I think you're going to be their hero. I just love these videos. Thank you so much. It's so much fun on a Friday. 20 minutes before the hour right now, we are one step closer to that Labor Day weekend. And if a day on the lake is on your list of fun, we have exactly what you need before you head out on the water.
Well, a bite out of controversy. In-N-Out now under scrutiny for a big donation. The boycott that might have you skipping that fries and the chocolate shake.
Uh-oh. And then fired for a lack of faith? The lawsuit that has a construction worker suing his own boss. You are watching ABC 15 Mornings.